Why don't you bench? Why don't you barbell squat? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Who are you? Why are you asking this? Who says that you have to do a bench? Who says you have to do a squat? Who says you have to do low carb diet? There are so many things that have entered into the ethos of the industry, and it's because what happened was that we were mimicking people who looked a certain way. We were mimicking people who we looked up to because of their discipline and their effort and the amount of time that they spent to carve out their body or whatever it was. And we thought, okay, because they're doing those things, maybe we have to do those things too. And don't get me wrong, some of these exercises have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, and in some forms, maybe even thousands if you look back at the ancient Olympics and stuff. But no specific exercise has to be done. You don't have to do it. Because who are these people telling you you have to do this? Who is telling you that you have to bench press for your chest? There's lots of arguments for the bench press. But in my experience, I think there's equally arguments against it, and maybe a little bit more in favor against than for it. If we use this in one particular example, the bench press itself, it's a single bar, weights on the side, you're pressing the weight away from you. It does work your chest, but what it happens to have in terms of issue is sometimes you feel it in your shoulder because you have a locked implement and you can only move a certain way. And your hands can go sideways, up and down. They're stuck in this position. And for some sports, it's necessary. Like if you're doing powerlifting, you want to get better at powerlifting, you probably should do it. But a lot of people who have shoulder issues, they're rolled forward and they don't have to do it. You don't have to bench press. You can get stronger without it. And I would argue that moving your limbs individually, you probably do better because you're going to be able to grow individually each side of those of your body. Because typically when you're doing a weighted implement and it's all attached to one, your stronger, more dominant side will probably take over. Even if it's not noticeable, it is something, right? Same thing goes for the squat. It doesn't have to be the barbell squat. It doesn't have to be the bench with the barbell. You can do dumbbell version. You could do, for a squat, you could do the kettlebell version. Whatever works that you're bending your knees and moving some weight. Because in the end of the day, each one of these movements that we want you to do have different ways that you can perform it. And those exercises should be specific to you. That nutrition plan should be specific to you. Now, that doesn't mean that majority of people would benefit from following a specific structure to nutrition or their exercise, but the individual details will be different from person to person. But you'll find that majority of people do not have to do that. Do not have to bench. Do not have to squat. Do not have to eat low carb. Do not have to drink so much water. Whatever it is, like there's certain things, and we have to find that for you. We have to figure that out for you. But the question is, when somebody asks you, hey, why aren't you doing the bench? Hey, why aren't you doing the squat? Hey, why aren't you doing the barbell overhead press? Why aren't you doing Olympic lifting? Why aren't you? It doesn't matter. Who are you to tell me or to tell this person or the next person what should be done? A coach, a good coach, should find exercise specific to you that work well for your body, for your limb length, and all these things. That's where the value of the coach comes in. Because it's easy to Google some exercises and for chest, and the first thing that pops up is chest press. That's easy. The skill of a coach is to find out, yeah, that's the first one that most people might want to consider, but it's probably not the best thing for you. If you have long lower body limbs, for example, you probably don't want to do a lot of back squat. You probably end up doing a little bit more front squat or goblet with the kettlebell. Whatever it is, you have to find it specific to you. So who is that person to tell you what you should do if they're not your specific coach? And if your coach is educated and experienced, then they're not going to tell you that you have to do a specific exercise, but they will find something specific to you, a nutritional plan, a lifestyle plan, an exercise plan specific to you. So stop listening to those people that are telling you what you should be doing and listen to your coach.